Hi, I'm Jalen Rose, and welcome to the Renaissance Man podcast, proudly presented by the New York Post, a show where we cover trends in fashion, entertainment, current events, and everything in between. My next guest is a three-time Grammy Award-winning R&B hitmaker, iconic songwriter, actor, and entrepreneur who recently released a new fly single. I can't stop singing it and watching the video entitled Don't Love Me via Motown Records. It'll be his 8th studio album called Self-Explanatory and his first full length since 2018. It is my honor to welcome the talented NeYo to the podcast. What's up, my brother?
What's going, sir? All love, man. All love.
Absolutely. Appreciate you taking the time. What was it like for you growing up in music? I'm sorry, what was it like for you growing up in Las Vegas? And did you always know you wanted to be in the music industry?
Growing up in Las Vegas was as weird as it sounds. It's a tour. Anybody that's been to Vegas before, it's a tourist town. People come in, do what they're gonna do, and then get out of there. The people that live there are kind of no exception to that. They come in, do what they're gonna do, get too broke to leave, and then gotta stay. So that was kind of our situation. But yeah, I went to high school there the whole nine, man. And it was, how you go through high school with that clique of friends,
Mhm.
ninth grade on through. It don't really happen like that in Vegas, because it's a tourist town. People come and go real quick. You every school year you start with brand new friends, so it kind of it forces you to be a people person, but
Mhm.
at the same time it's like that camaraderie that normally that you come up with, you didn't really get that. You know what I mean? This is brand new people every weekend, every year. It's brand new people at school, so friends become kind of this microwave situation a little bit growing up in Vegas.
Got you. And uniquely in Vegas, as somebody that frequents there, it seems like a place that we've discussed that you want to be there like 2 or 3 nights and you, as you mentioned, and be out, right?
And then get out of there, yeah,
Correct.
before
So you come
or
from
growing
a single
orange or something.
parent household. What was it like? The dynamics of like you in high school. Where did you go to high school? Where were you into in those years of your life?
Well, I went to a performing arts high school, Las Vegas Academy for Theater, Performing, and Visual Arts for the first 3 years, and then graduated from the high school that where I lived was sanctioned for, which was Rancho High.
Mhm.
And yeah, definitely a one parent household. Dad ain't stick around too long, which I wasn't tripping over, because I didn't feel like I missed out on anything with my
Mhm.
mom. Everything I needed to know, everything I needed to learn, I definitely learned it. I definitely got it, and my mom made sure of that. So, but yeah, it was. My mom was she was the working mom. She had 3, 4, 5 jobs at one time. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Like she'd come home just long enough to give me and my sister a kiss, and then it's off to the next job. And
Mhm.
she did that to make sure that we wasn't in the hood. Mind
Mhm.
you, we wasn't far from the hood, but
Right.
we wasn't. You know what I mean? So we spent a lot of time at like boys and girls clubs and things like that. Me and my sister. Hold on, SJ, you see I'm doing something? Come on, man. Sorry, my son.
All good. What up,
Working
nephew?
from home.
All good.
But yeah, so a lot of time at boys and girls clubs, a lot of stuff like that. The house that I was growing up in, it was my mother, my sister, my aunt, my mother, my sister, my grandmother, 5 aunts, and
Mm.
me. So
Really?
yeah, so not a lot of men around at all. Not a lot of testosterone flowing through this house. But this is where I fell in love with an independent woman, because these was the kind of women that was gonna get up and get their hands dirty if they needed to. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no men around to change the tires, so we got to change the tires. And no
Absolutely.
crash out, so we got to do it. It was those type of women. But I'm becoming a young man, and I ain't really got nobody to talk to about it. You know what I mean? Because it's all women in this house. So I
Right.
started being a knucklehead a little bit. Getting in trouble, doing stupid stuff, and that's when my mom made me start writing. And
Mm.
my writing, it started out as journal entries, and then eventually transformed on into songs, and here we are.
So it totally makes sense that you're a hit songwriter for not only yourself, but for artists, in particular women, because you grew up surrounded by them and you got a chance to see them go through multiple relationships. So, how does that translate into now what you're able to do as an artist?
Well, I learned growing up in that house what it is to be a good listener. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I learned growing up in that house what the true strength of a woman is, and I'm not just talking physical strength. I'm talking mental strength, emotional strength. Um, I learned the difference between a lady and just a woman. You know, God makes you a woman. You make yourself a lady.
Mm.
It was a lot of lessons in that house, man. A lot of lessons, and you know, by the grace of God, I was not so much of a knucklehead that I didn't actually take the time and listen and catch some of these lessons. But yeah, man, I credit my entire writing ability and career to my mother. My mother just, you know, being tired of me getting in trouble in school, and she gave me that red notebook and said, write it down. And I said, write what
Mm.
down? She said, I don't give a damn, just write it down. And from there, everything else happened the way it was supposed to. I'm NeYo now. There we go.
Absolutely. Your new song, Don't Love Me, definitely centers around relationship difficulties.
Hmm.
So, have you found that music is helpful, a helpful way to process complicated feelings in your own life and relationships?
I mean, it's always worked for me. You know, I'm 42 years old, and I can't say at all that I got it all figured out. But you know, my wife is happy and my kids is happy, so I'm doing something right. But yeah, it was music has always been kind of a therapy tool for me. You know what I mean? Like if I was feeling a way, or you know, ever had an emotion that I couldn't express this way, I could write it. I could write a song about it and get it out that way. You know, whatever the case needed to be. um Don't Love Me is a song about uh it's a song that I wrote when me and my wife weren't in the best place. We were you know, right before the pandemic. We were talking about divorce.
Mm.
It just kind of got to that place where we couldn't talk no more, man. Like it's you know what I'm saying? It's like there's clearly beef here, but I
Mhm.
gotta go, and I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks, so we'll holler about it when I get back. You know, like these problems never get solved. So
Correct.
the song is basically, you know, I was at a place where I didn't know if I was capable of being the man that I felt like she deserved.
Mm.
And so that's what the song is basically saying. It's saying, don't love me, walk away, you'll be better for it, because I know that you'll stay if I just let you stay. And if you stay, I'm gonna probably wind up hurting you. So I want you to go. And it took my highly intelligent wife to point
Mm.
out to me in the moment that well, basically she wasn't gonna let me cop out. She said, it's
Mm.
not that you can't be the man that I deserve, it's that you won't. Because it's
Mm.
not that you can't be, well, it's not that you can't be, it's not that you can't be romantic. It's not that you can't. It's that you won't. We do what we want to do all day long.
Mhm.
Everybody. People choose desire over necessity all day long. So for you to sit there and tell me that you can't do something is basically, that's a cop out. That's a cop out. And I'm not letting you do that. So we're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk about it. And we're gonna work it out, and you're gonna figure
Love
out
that.
what you need to do to be who it is I need you to be. And I couldn't do nothing but go, yeah, all right, well, all right. You know, that pride thing. But I'm
I
glad. But I'm glad
love that.
because, you know, we still together now. And we're in a better place than we've ever been. You know, but the song was that's where this particular song came from. Yeah.
And and I have to ask you this, like earlier in your career, I've been following you a long time. And maybe this is or isn't true. But was there a point in your career where it seemed like the labels and or maybe even the artists wanted you to focus solely on writing and not necessarily also being an artist?
Um. Excuse me. When I got over to Def Jam, it was understood that I was gonna be an artist. L.A. Reid wanted to give me an artist deal, which was cool. But before then, I was just being a songwriter. So I had a deal before the Def Jam deal. I was signed over at Columbia Records for about 3 4 years, two of which I just sat on the shelf over there because
Mm.
basically, long story short, the album that I did over there wasn't really me. You know what I'm saying? It was their version of who they wanted me to be. And
Mm.
in the beginning of it, I was so green and just so happy to be there. I didn't realize that I could say no, and so I never did. I'm like, what y'all want me to do? Whatever, whatever. But I look back at the album like, this ain't even. I don't even know this dude. You know.
Mm.
So after that whole situation, because basically I told them I wasn't gonna cooperate if they didn't let me record some more songs that felt more like me, and they were like, well, your budget is depleted, so I don't know how you're gonna do that. So
Mm.
so basically, I sat on the shelf over at Columbia Records for like 2 years, you know, being depressed, being sad about it, like how I'm right here at the door, and I'm back at square one.
Mm.
Oh, so it wasn't so much that anybody wanted me to be a writer more than an artist, or anybody other than myself, anyways. Because after that Columbia situation, I was like, if this is what it is to have a record deal, I don't want that.
Mm,
I just write it for other people, you know. But then, through the writing, through the songs that I was writing, I was placed in front of L.A. Reid, and
mm,
L.A. Reid was like, "Listen, I like what you do. I'm not.
mm,
I don't feel like I need to tell you what to do. I don't feel
mm,
like I need to coach you through nothing to hold your hand. Like you do it already. So just do what
mm.
you do. Just do it for us." And I'm like, "All right, cool."
Oh, that's dope, and he's a legend. And since then, I mean, you worked with Beyonce. You
Mhm.
wrote the classic 2006 breakup anthem, "Irreplaceable."
Yeah,
What
man.
was it like working with Queen B? How do you get into another artist's voice to produce such a anthem like you guys did on when y'all collaborated on that record?
So with that song, it wasn't so much getting into another artist's voice as it was just writing a song that was relatable to everybody. You know what I'm saying, or at least women anyway.
Mhm.
Um, I wrote the song based off of one of my aunts, one of the aunts that I grew up in that house.
Exactly.
Huh?
Shout Auntie.
Oh yeah, our auntie, but the auntie that always had a new boyfriend every couple months.
Uh-huh.
So it's one dude that stuck around a little longer than everybody else, but he found a way to mess it up. So everything in the song is true. Like she really did buy this dude a car, and this dude really was rolling the car around in the city with another chick in it. Not giving a damn about who's seeing him or whatever. She found out. She put all this stuff in a box to the left of the closet and told him to get on. So I
Wow.
wrote the song initially to keep it. I tried to like flip it and write it from a male perspective, and what I realized is that this song does not work as well from a male perspective as it does from a female perspective. So once Beyonce finally got her hands on it, that was all she wrote. It was the rest is history from there.
What is it like for you as a talented writer to now give Beyonce a record and see that record become an anthem? What is it like when you first hear it on the radio or then you see people's reaction to the song?
I gotta say, being a parent now, and in that I've had those proud parent moments, is definitely that. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, these songs was my kids before I had kids. So,
Correct.
so I'm listening to the radio, and Irreplaceable comes on, and the DJ is going nuts, or people are calling in requesting it, or I'm watching Beyonce perform at this award show, that award show, and I'm just sitting back like,
That's dope. That's
you know what I'm saying?
dope.
One of those, because it's my baby, and my baby is flourishing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a proud moment. It really truly is.
What about linking up with Rihanna? Bangers like Unfaithful and Take
Ah,
a Bow. Like, what? Take me into the dynamics of how those songs came about and working with Riri.
so Rihanna was signed to Jay, signed to Rockefeller. So when I first met Jay, Rihanna's one of the first artists that he talked to me about. He said we got this young lady. She's from Barbados. You know what I'm saying? She has a really really dope energy. She can dance, she can sing. She just needs them joints. So
Mm.
I met her. When I met her, she was young still. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like too young to even be looking at like that still. Like
Right,
young.
gotcha. Right, for
So,
sure.
so I always tell people that my relationship with Ree was a little weird because, mind you, as she's growing up, I met her when she was still a kid. So as
Right.
she's growing up, and all my homeboys is like, "Yo, you see Rihanna legs?" And I'm like, "Nah,
I can't look. Oh no, I can't look.
man, that's baby sis. I can't do that."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Incest.
Yeah, like, oh, nah, nah. But she's always been a workhorse, bro. Like she's the one that'll get in the studio and stay in the studio until it's done. You know what I'm saying? Everybody sleep on the couch and she's still hammering away at it. Like she's that person. So I completely understand how she's as successful as she is now. Cause from a kid, she was like, the work must be done. Like we're gonna figure it out. I don't know. I don't care how long it's gonna take. We're gonna get the work done. And I've
Mhm.
always appreciated that about her.
There's so many young people that want to get into sports, that want to get into entertainment, that want to get into music, but they don't know the time and the energy and sacrifices that you make in order to even do an album. And
Hmm.
right now, you're, like I mentioned, doing your first album since 2018. So,
Yeah, man.
can you talk about that process for people who don't understand, like the time and energy that's going into you making self explanatory before they actually hear it?
Well, one thing I think that people need to lock into is that this is, though the music industry is somewhat leisurely, and you see the diamonds and the parties and the money and the girls and the na 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 na. The part that you don't see is the part that really and truly matters, and that's days at a time in the studio. I ain't been home in days. I ain't been home in weeks, because we're in here making sure that the vision that we trying to produce is coming out exactly the way that it's supposed to. Like, this is a process that is, it can be a little painstaking. It's like, it can be a little, particular, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's a love thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we do because we feel like we have to. It's something that we do because we want to. I
Mm-hmm.
want what I hear in my head to be produced out here. I want people to hear it and feel about it the way I feel about it. So I'm gonna sit here and take all the time it takes to make sure that it's that good, and it's something that you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anybody that would choose to be away from their bed for 3, 4, 5 days at a time in this little bitty room with
Mm-hmm.
two other dudes, an engineer and a producer, trying to make a song. But if it's a love thing, know what I'm saying? If it's a passion thing, then that's how it's done. My studio here in Atlanta, I thrive in comfort. I got to be comfortable
Mm-hmm.
enough for me to be my absolute best. So my studio here in Atlanta, we got showers, we got bedrooms,
Mm-hmm.
because we understand that there will be those times where it's like, all right, yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but damn it, I'm hot right now. We can't stop right now. I'm in my zone. So 6, 7, 8 o'clock roll around and you ain't laid down yet. Well, go and hit the bath. Go ahead, take a shower, go and get the room, and then when you wake up, get a few hours, and when you wake up, let's get back at it. Like, that's what it is, and that level of dedication is what equals success in pretty much anything that you do. Real talk. Like, if we want to be real about it, that level of dedication,
Mm-hmm.
eating, sleep, and shitting what it is. That's the level of dedication that gets you to the top. Period.
And L.A. Reid, the Godfather, and Babyface brought that to Atlanta and exploded that scene to now you can't look left or look right and see somebody not representing the A in rap or R&B. So what
Indeed.
has Atlanta and Georgia meant for your career and for your sound?
Oh man, just so I moved out here. It was 2 stints of life that I was out here. I went back to LA for a little while, then came back out here just because the vibe and the energy out here just spoke more to me and who I am. So I've been here this time for roughly 6, 7 years. Well, ooh, I'm lying. Roughly 8 years, something like that. And I don't see myself living anywhere else, bro. I'm from Arkansas originally, as we discussed. So I'm a little bit country,
Yeah,
but I grew up in Las Vegas, so I'm a little bit city too. So
gotcha.
Atlanta is just that perfect mixture of both. On top of the fact that Atlanta is a place where you will find more individuals than
Mm,
in a lot of places. Cats out here kind of got their own thing. You know what I'm saying? From
mm,
the
yeah,
way they dress, from the way they talk,
yeah.
to the way the
Mm,
music sound, Atlanta is its own animal. You know what I mean? And that's refreshing to me, that you could come out here and kind of let your freak flag fly, so to speak. And it's not only is it accepted, but it's like it's embraced. It's like, the more individual you are here, the more
mm,
love you get, as opposed to running around trying to be like or sound like somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Here and you doing your own thing, people are gonna rock with you for that out here. Like, I dig that. I dig that. Keeps you sharp.
Absolutely. And Detroit has a kinship with Atlanta. I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
see so many Detroiters there. I've seen you at
Oh,
Hawks
that
games,
sound.
no doubt. And the thing is, like in Georgia, in Atlanta in particular, as you started to say that, that's exactly right. Individualism is embraced as
Yes.
an artist and it's respected. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you can make it on your own. That's dope. That's appreciated.
Yep.
What is some advice you would give aspiring artists today?
Um, I feel like, so there's pros and cons to the music industry now, right? Record labels are slowly but surely, in my personal opinion, becoming a little bit obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, a young hungry cat that's willing to get it, to go get it, he'll make a song in his bathroom and upload that joint to Spotify the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
a check to show up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really need a record deal no more. I mean, mind you, from a financial standpoint, yeah, the record labels make it easier. But if you just a cat that really want to do this, and you take your little pennies and you save them and you do what it is you got to do, you don't need a record label no more. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I would say to any artist trying to come up now is basically what we was just talking about. One of the beautiful things about Atlanta is that individuality is appreciated. The
Mm,
music industry is full of people trying to be what they thought, what they saw on TV or what they saw on TikTok,
mm,
or a song that they really liked, and now they trying to rap like that. Like, the industry is full of those people. Don't be
mm,
one of them people, man.
mm.
Don't be one of them people. Figure out what your thing is and rock that, and rock it proudly and unapologetically. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you this. I'll put it to you this way: if there's a thing about you or a thing that you do that anyone has ever made fun of you for, because it's individually you, that's your superpower. Figure out what that is, and use that, blow that up. Because I'm telling you, that's the thing, that thing that separates you from everybody else.
Love
That's
that.
the thing that's gonna get you there.
I
Focus,
love that.
focus on that. I'm telling you.
I love that. And I definitely appreciate you taking the time. Make sure you guys go cop Self-Explanatory by NeYo's first studio album since 2018. But before
Woo!
I let you get out of here, I have a rapid fire segment called Gone in 60 Seconds. You ready to do
Yeah,
this?
let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm going to Vegas for a couple of nights. What casino hotel should I stay at?
Okay. Definitely stay at the Cosmo if you can. It's beautiful, and anything and everything that you need is in there. Plus, it's right next to the newer part of the strip where it's really really going down there. Yeah, so I definitely recommend the Cosmo.
Absolutely. And that blue ribbon is fire.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of food, if somebody's coming to Atlanta for a day, where should they go eat?
If they're coming to Atlanta for a day, there is a restaurant called Hal's. It's like a steakhouse, but they do a little bit of everything in there. Is yeah. Whenever I bring somebody to Atlanta, that's where I take them. Take them to Hal's. Yes.
I got to hit Hal's up. Name one artist that you haven't worked with that you hope to work with in the future.
Um, Drake. Been a huge fan of Drake since the beginning. I'm really really impressed with just his writing ability, his rap ability. I mean, the dude, there's nothing the dude can't do. So I would be real anxious to see what a NeYo Drake song would sound like.
Oh, we need that to happen. As
And
somebody that lived in Toronto and watched Drake come up, this show is going to make sure that this becomes an inspiration for the internet, for everybody. We need that to happen.
let's do it.
Definitely. Which R&B icon do you draw inspiration from?
Um, so I have five.
Good.
I have five. Hey, I'll be out there. Sorry, five. Michael Jackson, Prince, Stevie Wonder, Sammy Davis Jr., and Marvin Gaye. These are my five kings. Like
I
five people
love that.
person. This is who NeYo. This is who NeYo has always aspired to become.
That's so dope. And I appreciate you taking the time. This is the last and final question. The biggest thing you look forward to fans taking away from your new album?
Um, well, the album is called Self-Explanatory because this is my son SJ. Say hi.
What's up, man? How are you? Nice to meet you. Thanks for
So,
joining us.
yeah, so hold on, man. I'll be right there. I'll be right there. Okay, so the album is called Self-Explanatory because we've been here up damn near 20 years at this point, brother. I feel like there's really not a whole lot of explanation that a NeYo album needs at this point. You You know what I'm saying? It's like you know who I am. You know what I do at this point. It's gonna be it's gonna be the kind of music you live life to. You know what I'm saying? I got that joint that you put on when you're getting ready to go out. I got the
Mm,
joint you put on once you get out. I got that
mm,
joint that you put on Sunday when you cleaning up. I got that joint that you put on when you reminiscing on that dude or that chick that it was supposed to work and it didn't for whatever. I got all of those for you. All of those you will find on this album. So what I want people to take from this album is just music to live life to, music to feel some emotion to. Like we got to a place in music where the emotion that kind of died down a little bit. You know what I mean? Everybody's real tough. Everybody's real cool. People are afraid to be vulnerable. That
mm,
vulnerability is what connects us. That's the thing that connects us. That ability to lock into another person's heart. That is
mm.
the connection. And if we don't have that, you see what happens. The world is going nuts. We need more of that. I'm trying to bring some of that back with this album.
You definitely doing it, my brother. I appreciate you taking the time. Don't Love Me is out right now. Make sure you guys check out Self-Explanatory. This
Yes,
gentleman is a legend. Thank you very much, NeYo, for
bro.
joining the show.
Thank you for having me, my man. All love.
All love.